Well, no rest for the wary. We're tracking not one, but two potential blizzards impacting parts of the United States over the next 7 days. Will it impact your neighborhood? I'll let you know coming up next. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. I'm meteorologist Greg Majewski, and before we get rolling, as always, we'd like to thank all our new subscribers. Yeah, we've added almost 100 new subscribers to the channel. We're currently up to 2,735 of you, and if you haven't yet decided to subscribe to the channel, like 96% of you have not, please consider it. It'd be an honor and pleasure to help serve you with your weather needs. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you're notified on future content. And please leave me a comment or give me a thumbs up down below. Really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Now, this map next door, boy, it has seen significant changes over the last 10 days as we continue to fill it in, and we're going to add some more to it, except for our friends there in Ohio. I guess somebody there's doing some serious praying because the snow's been avoiding them, but that might change. We'll take a look at that coming up. Let's talk about what you need to know for this edition. All right, first we're going to take a look at the latest European overnight models. We're going to look at the precipitation outlook here over the next 10 days, tracking the one specifically for this weekend and the follow-on one coming in after that. We'll look at the snow forecast totals, preliminary. Again, snow forecasting is always a little tricky, and I always like when we get a little bit closer, but we can still take a look at what we're expecting looking out long range. And then finally, we'll get an update on the Arctic cold temperatures. We've already been forecasting that. That's coming. We'll get the latest on that data to see if that's changed any for areas in your part of the country. All right, as always, a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and take a look at those latest computer models. So we're going to be looking at basically from Thursday right through the next week. We're going from the 11th through the 17th. That's the period I'm going to be highlighting as we're tracking two storm systems. Both have the potential to have blizzards with them. This next one in especially also has a severe component with it, although the European is not quite as dynamic with it as, say, the last one was showing, but the Storm Prediction Center is also expecting some more severe weather across the south, and I'll kind of highlight that as we go through this particular model run. So let me go ahead and zip on out of here as we're going to be focusing here on conditions out here in the west. So this is where our storm system is going to be sitting here in the Thursday morning. You're seeing the snows kind of erupting back through in here, through areas of heading into Wyoming, into Colorado, Arizona, parts of southern Utah. So that's where the storm system is on your Thursday morning. So now as we go ahead and progress forward in time, watch this storm system come out on Friday, and it looks really so much like the last one. It's almost scary. As you see in the snows on the northern periphery of this, you're getting some storms starting to fire up here along the Gulf Coast. So you're getting these thunderstorms here. You're seeing the snows erupting here on the northern edge of this. Pressure at 992 millibars, and it's going to drop significantly as this continues to move up in this general direction, heading up into the Great Lakes as we go forward in time. So again, let's go ahead and progress this thing throughout the day on Friday, and it'll be on Friday that we're going to watch this as we go into the afternoon hours. And it's going to be this area down here, basically from the Carolinas stretching back into Alabama and Georgia, kind of right up in this general area, that there'll be an enhanced risk for severe weather with this. Obviously, looking at the potential for tornadoes, strong gusty winds once again, and a possibility of hail. So we're going to watch that very closely as we get closer. This is a day 3 outlook, and we'll see if that will maintain. But look at the heavy snows also on the northern side of this. Again, a tale of two seasons with this storm, just like the last one, as we're dealing with the winter weather conditions across Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri, northern Illinois. Chicago gets blasted once again with this next storm. And look at the pressure, it drops to 975 millibars. Now, by this time, late in the day on Friday, the severe weather should be kind of clearing the eastern seaboard, clearing the Carolinas by late in the day on your Friday. But some very heavy snows across areas of Michigan. I mean, when you see purple like that in this area right through here, and again, I'll just kind of highlight that, that's some extremely heavy snow coming into areas, getting pretty close to Detroit with this storm system as it progresses over the Great Lakes. So that's blizzard number 1 as the pressure drops to 971. You notice all the isobars, the lines of equal pressure, when you see them packed in that tight. Obviously, you're looking at some very windy conditions through there. Looks like mostly rain here across southern portions of New England, but we'll have some snow on the northern edge of this as storm number 1 progresses into Canada. Obviously, areas heading up to Quebec and Toronto will get blasted once again. And then we say goodbye to this storm system as we go through the day on Saturday. So predominantly a Friday event, wrapping up by the time we go into Saturday. So we're going in from the 12th and 13th with this next storm system with that one. Then our attention again is going to shift back to the west, going back here once again as we got our next storm system coming in. And this one will be a little bit different. It'll be a little more southern component. It's also going to tap some of that very cold Arctic air. So you see in the rains, some of the heavier snows across the areas of the Sierra Nevada heading into Colorado, some heavy rains coming into portions of central portions of California, getting just south of San Francisco, looks like, with this system as this begins to move further inland. So let's watch this one as we go into the future and going into early next week. Watch it as the snows erupt across the same areas of the Rockies. But this one is going to tap some of this cold air. Again, we got some very cold Arctic air that we've been kind of watching it up in this area. And this is going to be kind of diving in behind this next storm system. So it's going to be a little bit more of a southerly component. Now, for right now, it doesn't appear to be a major player as far as major snows across the south. But let's also keep in mind, folks in the South don't know how to deal with any kind of winter precipitation, especially when getting into Arkansas and getting into Texas. You notice that pink area? That is kind of your sleet and your freezing rain component there, getting into North Louisiana, eastern portions of Texas. So it doesn't amount, it starts to diminish a bit as we go into Monday mornings, but you're still dealing with the snows here, stretching from West Virginia and stretching back into northern Mississippi. Then we watch the low begin to develop, all right? This is the low pressure system down along the Gulf Coast here. Again, we'll watch out for maybe some severe weather, maybe with this one going across Florida and South Georgia. We'll see how that appears. We still got, basically about 6 days out before we have to deal with our 5 days out before we have to see this one. So watch what happens with this one as this starts to go up the eastern seaboard. We start to really tap that cold Arctic air. Look at the packing of the lines here. Some very cold air coming in there. You also got a very strong jet stream that's going to kind of track this thing up the eastern seaboard. And it's going to has the potential, at least with the Europeans showing a low pressure bomb. When I say that, that means the pressure is going to deepen quite rapidly as it approaches the northeast. We're at 996 millibars here Tuesday, going into early Tuesday morning, and by Tuesday morning you're at 986. Look at these snows here, some very heavy snows for the interior, as that low pressure basically is like a big vacuum cleaner and really starts to pull the cold air into it. And watch what it does as we go from Tuesday morning to Tuesday afternoon by 2 o'clock. It goes from 96 millibars down to 967. That, my friend, is the textbook definition of a low pressure bomb, as you're going to be dealing with some very strong gusty winds, probably numerous power outages, and whiteout conditions with this heavy snows across areas of New England, New York, and heading into Maine, and just a very vigorous system to say the least. And this will bottoms out in 952 millibars. That's a Category 3 hurricane in equivalency. Extreme blizzard conditions across eastern portions of Canada and clipping areas of New England as we go in throughout the day on your Tuesday. And then the storm begins to wrap up and head north into Canada as we go into your Wednesday. So we've got two different storm systems to watch. We're talking about one with another severe component, almost an identical clone to the last one almost, that we're going to have to watch going into Friday. And then we got the other one, which is could provide blizzard conditions heading into New England. So it's the Midwest and New England with the two blizzard conditions, and of course the severe weather across the Southeast once again as we head into Friday. All right, let's talk about those snow totals and take a look at those. So we're going to look specifically again at the European. The latest data here is we're going to focus specifically on the Midwest, areas of the Midwest, and we're going to watch obviously areas of the New England. So this residual moisture in here, this is the leftovers from our exiting storm system that was earlier in the week, dropping some snows there. That's the leftovers of that last storm system that was impacting a lot of the country on the 9th. So let's go ahead and step this forward as we watch that next storm system, as we watch where those snows are going to come as we go throughout the day heading into Saturday. So you're looking at significant snows there going up into areas of the Great Lakes and going up into southern Canada. So look at some of these snowfall towns again near Chicago. Once again, you're looking at 14, 15 inches of snow. A lot of areas of Michigan seeing 16, 17, 14 inches of snow. So again, you're getting a nice little swath of some heavy snow that's going to be coming in here across portions of the Great Lakes in New England. That's for blizzard number 1. with this storm system. Then we're going to go forward and we're going to watch New England. Watch what happens with New England as we watch the next storm system. Notice the snow is here on the southern periphery of this as we get a little bit of snows down here to the south. Maybe some individual areas up to 6 inches there across areas of Arkansas. But the main threat is going to be up toward New England as we watch the heavy snows erupt there as we go throughout the day on Tuesday and Wednesday. Look at all that orange in there, man. We're talking about some serious snows over into the feet. 2 feet of snow across portions of eastern Canada. Look at upstate New York, all New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. Some very, very heavy snows. But the good news is, at least right now, it does appear that the main cities, as far as New York City, Boston, does not get hit with this, although that could change. Any change in this track could make a change in what snows fall into those 2 areas. So again, quite significant snows coming in for the next 7 days. And again, kind of pulling back out here to the west, again, you can see the west coast is going to be getting some heavy snows. Obviously, as the storm systems come in through the Sierra Nevada, you're talking about areas in here, get words of several feet of snow, especially across Oregon, 60 inches of snow. Definitely nothing to sneeze at, and some pretty healthy snows, obviously, here across portions of the Intermountain region as well. As you see, areas in here, a lot of purple and dark purple. So again, going into the feet of snow for the Rockies, and definitely adding to that snowpack, which has been lacking a little bit through most of December, but really starting to pile on as we go through the month of January. All right, we talked about the 2 storm systems. We talked about the snow totals, but whoa, we cannot ignore the Arctic air that's coming down. Let's go ahead and switch gears and look at those temperatures. So as we take a look at the forecasted temperatures here over the next 7 days, a real concern for me is going to be areas across the deep south. We're talking areas down in here, even getting into Florida, that are going to see some of the coldest air they've seen in some time, probably since December of last year, Christmas of 2022, I think, is last time I saw temperatures that we could potentially see across areas of the deep south. The good news is it's not camping out and going to hold there for days and days on end, but it's going to be quite frigid, especially as we go into early next week. So let me go ahead and pull on out of here as we're going to watch this track. Again, we're going to be watching areas up here initially where this cold air is going to start coming in and then diving down here toward the south. So let's go ahead and take you forward here in time as we go into Thursday. So by Thursday morning, again, you can see the cold temperature sitting right up in here. You see in the levels here below zero, this hard purple. You see the single digits below zero temperatures, and that's only going to get colder, folks, as we go through time as we watch this upcoming storm system going into Friday, as we're going to start pulling some of that cold air up in Canada. It's been kind of parked there and dive it down across the south. And you see the brief warm up here with that next storm system. It's those clash of those air masses, which is why we do have a severe component with this. Let's just face it, the warm and cold air don't exactly like each other too much. But watch that cold air really kind of expand as we kind of push that warm, mild air out along the eastern seaboard off the east coast, and you're looking at some very frigid temperatures. Check out some of these readings back here through Montana once again. This has not changed. 44, 47 below zero, 32 below zero into Montana. Idaho, seeing a very, very cold area up in this area. So this is going to be very cold conditions here if you live in this part of the country. So hopefully you're adhering what folks at your local weather offices and your local weather folks in that part of the country, as this is going to be quite cold to say the least as this goes into this upcoming weekend. Then you're seeing more of that purple kind of spread out. Look how much of the country here as we head towards Sunday morning is looking at temperatures below zero. I mean, a big swath here on the 14th of January. So look at how all this levels in here, seeing temperatures well below zero. And this has been pretty consistent with the runs as far as its impact on the lower 48, as we're really going to get tundra-like air here across the country. Look at Monday morning. We're getting below zero temperatures down into Oklahoma, single digits down toward Denver. You got a sharp cold front right through there with that dividing line. You can see that right through here. Kind of right through there with that cold front. And watch as this thing really going to settle in across the southeast. Going to push that mild air out as we go into Tuesday morning. Look what the levels are on Tuesday morning. Still looking at a big chunk of the country, looking at below zero temperatures here across the Midwest, the high plains, and getting into the deep South. You're talking about temperatures down toward Atlanta, down into the teens, 13 in Atlanta, 11 in Birmingham, 11 in Jackson, and getting even into the 20s for a hard freeze across areas of the Florida Panhandle. Again, areas that don't normally see this. And we'll go ahead and wrap this up going into Wednesday morning as well. Again, another hard freeze, 20s getting down into the high areas down here, even getting into the Florida Peninsula, down this way, getting in some very, very cold Arctic air right through here. And then you kind of see the below zero starts to retreat just a little bit as we go into day 7 of this forecast. Now, I'll go ahead and take this all the way out. I wasn't planning on it, but I guess I'll do it on the cuff. I'm doing it right here. And you do see it start to modify, but the cold air not leaving the country just yet. It's kind of sitting there across a big chunk of the country still as we go to the end of that model run, going into the 19th. Now, I am expecting this air to modify. I was still looking at the North Atlantic Oscillation forecast, which is trending it northward. So I do expect by the time we head to the last week of January, temperatures should modify across the lower 48. Well, as we go ahead and wrap up this edition, obviously all eyes are going to be on our next storm system as we head into this upcoming Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We do have a severe component on this. The day 2 outlook here going into Thursday, highlighting the slight risk here across Texas, Louisiana, and parts of Arkansas. I'm not overly concerned about it. I think there's a possibility you might see some isolated problems there. Obviously, a slight risk for some tornadoes as well as some very gusty winds. I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm just not overly hyped about that one for the day 2 outlook. I am more concerned going into the day 3 outlook, though. This is where that enhanced area is, as I was highlighting on the precipitation there on the European, the areas here from the Carolinas stretching back through Alabama and Georgia. That is going to be a major concern throughout the day on Friday. So the Storms Prediction Center will continue to track this. We'll continue to have updates on this, and yours truly will obviously keep an eye on this one as well as we go through the next several days. And if you are not a subscriber, hey, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. Hit that button, hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted on future content. If you like what you see, leave me a comment, or if you've got some feedback, leave a comment as well. And give me a thumbs up. It really does help as I continue to draw attention to this channel and try to grow it. I really do appreciate it, because it's all about serving you guys. Not about me, not about you. It's about serving the public at large. And that's what I'm trying to do here on the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. All right, that's it for now. You guys take it easy. Be safe out there. We'll see you on the next update. Bye-bye for now.